It began as a day of quiet reflection. The final Sunday of the month dawned with gentle autumn light over a Midwestern suburb. Families moved through their weekend routines, unaware of the darkness approaching. Congregants, dressed in their Sunday best, gathered for worship, exchanging greetings and settling into familiar pews. Children played among the seats, embodying hope and continuity. Meanwhile, in a nearby town, a 40-year-old military veteran prepared for the morning with a very different purpose. His actions were methodical, fueled by a long-standing animosity. As the congregation found comfort in community, he readied weapons and materials, intent on violence. The peace of the morning was a fragile illusion, moments away from being shattered. Two worlds, one of faith, one of hatred, were about to collide in tragedy. The meeting house was a community landmark, a symbol of stability and faith since 1981. Its modest architecture and well-kept grounds welcomed all, serving as a cornerstone for spiritual and social life. Inside, sunlight filled the chapel where generations had marked life's milestones. On this Sunday, hundreds gathered, elderly couples, young families, veterans, healthcare workers, all united by faith. Among them were emergency medicine residents, a former bishop, and a 6-year-old boy. The building was more than walls. It was a sanctuary, a haven from the world's chaos. The violation of this space would be a profound psychological blow, not just a physical one. The attack would target not only individuals, but the very idea of safety and community. The sanctuary's peace was about to be shattered in an instant. The attacker was a 40-year-old Marine Corps veteran from a neighboring city. After serving in Iraq, he returned home, married, and had a son with a rare genetic disorder, strains that weighed heavily on his family. Yet these hardships alone did not explain his actions. Investigators found his motive rooted in a decade-old animosity toward the church, sparked by a breakup with a member. Over time, his personal grievance grew into a broader, ideological hatred. He openly called the faith's members the Antichrist, sharing these views with acquaintances and even a local politician. The attack was not random, but a targeted act of violence against a specific community. His father later expressed sorrow for the victims, acknowledging that no explanation could justify such loss. At 10:25 a.m., the attacker rammed his pickup truck through the meeting house doors, shattering the calm. He emerged armed with a semi-automatic rifle and opened fire on the congregation. Panic erupted as people scrambled for cover, the chapel echoing with gunfire and chaos. The attacker moved toward the main chapel, firing indiscriminately. He then set a fire using gasoline, thick smoke quickly filling the building and blocking escape routes. The violence was swift. Gunfire, flames, and terror. In minutes, 2 were killed by gunfire. A former bishop and a Navy veteran. Many others were wounded, including a 6-year-old boy. The fire added to the devastation, trapping congregants and compounding the crisis. The calculated assault left lives lost and a community forever changed. The sanctuary was transformed into a scene of horror. The first 911 call came at 10:25 a.m., shattering the morning calm and triggering a rapid emergency response. Dispatchers relayed urgent details to first responders, their voices steady despite the tension in the air. Within minutes, officers raced through the rain, arriving to find thick smoke billowing from the building and chaos unfolding outside. The scene was tense, with bystanders shouting and sirens echoing in the distance. The perpetrator was confronted in the parking lot. When he refused to drop his weapon, he was fatally shot by a conservation officer. The confrontation was swift, leaving officers shaken but determined to secure the area. The entire confrontation lasted less than 4 minutes, a brief but intense window in which lives hung in the balance. Amid the chaos, striking nurses from a nearby hospital rushed to help, triaging the wounded before ambulances arrived. Their quick thinking and medical expertise made a crucial difference for many victims. 2 emergency medicine residents from the congregation repeatedly entered the burning building to rescue others, suffering injuries themselves. Their bravery inspired those around them. Even as smoke and flames threatened to overwhelm, firefighters battled the blaze with determination, but the fire claimed 2 more lives. a woman and a man unable to escape the inferno despite desperate efforts. The coordinated efforts of law enforcement, firefighters, and volunteers saved many, but could not prevent the tragedy that unfolded that night. Their teamwork, however, brought hope amid despair. In those frantic minutes, heroism and loss unfolded side by side. Every second counted, and every action taken shaped the outcome for those inside. The community's resilience was tested in the face of overwhelming violence, but their courage and unity would become a beacon in the difficult days that followed. The aftermath revealed the full scope of tragedy. 5 dead, including the perpetrator, and 8 hospitalized. The numbers alone could not capture the shock that rippled through the city that night, as families waited for news and first responders worked through the rain-soaked darkness. Victims ranged from a 6-year-old boy to a 78-year-old, underscoring the indiscriminate nature of the attack. Each life lost or forever changed represented a story, a family, and a future cut short. The local hospital managed the influx with staff, some fresh from the picket line, working tirelessly. Doctors and nurses, many still in protest armbands, put aside exhaustion and personal grievances to care for the wounded, their dedication a quiet act of heroism. The FBI led the investigation, classifying the incident as targeted violence. Federal agents worked through the night, piecing together evidence and searching for answers amid chaos. 4 improvised explosive devices were found in the attacker's truck, revealing intent for even greater destruction. The discovery sent a fresh wave of fear through the community, as authorities realized how much worse it could have been. Authorities examined his digital footprint, seeking to understand his radicalization and possible influences. Investigators combed through online forums, social media, and encrypted messages, searching for clues to his motives. The day after, a separate arrest near the scene raised further concerns, though no direct connection was found. Still, the community's sense of safety was shaken, and rumors spread quickly. The meeting house, a place of cherished memories, was mostly destroyed. Its charred remains stood as a stark reminder of what was lost, both physically and emotionally. The loss of life left deep wounds in families and the community. Grief and disbelief mingled at vigils as neighbors gathered to mourn and support one another. The attack's cost was measured not just in lives, but in the violation of a sacred space. The community now faced the long, painful process of healing, forever changed by a night that would not be forgotten. In the days that followed, the community united in grief and resilience. Vigils brought together residents of all faiths, offering prayers and support. Schools closed, and donations poured in to aid victims' families. The Mott Foundation launched a major relief fund, reflecting widespread compassion. Remarkably, the daughter of a victim publicly forgave the attacker, and a fundraiser was organized for the perpetrator's family, sparking both praise and debate. The local bishop expressed gratitude for the outpouring of support and emphasized healing over vengeance. The response was defined by empathy and unity, not anger. The community's resolve to rebuild and reject hatred was unwavering. The attack drew swift condemnation from state and national leaders. Michigan's governor ordered flags at half-staff. The president called it a targeted attack on Christians and pledged federal support. The FBI director vowed to uncover the motive and prevent future tragedies. The faith's leadership called for prayer and resilience, even as the church mourned the loss of its worldwide president just a day before. A former senator, whose father had dedicated the meeting house, expressed personal sorrow, highlighting the building's deep roots. The tragedy reignited debates about security at places of worship and the threat of ideologically motivated violence. Leaders' responses mixed grief, condemnation, and a search for answers. The attack was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of sacred spaces. This tragedy was not a sudden impulse, but the result of a grievance that grew, festering quietly until it hardened into a lethal ideology. It was a slow, corrosive process, one that transformed pain and anger into something far more dangerous. The attackers' hatred, nurtured over years and reinforced in the isolating corners of the internet, became a blueprint for targeted violence. Online forums and echo chambers amplified his resentment, providing validation and a sense of belonging to a toxic community. Yet, the community's response offered a powerful counter-narrative: nurses running to help, neighbors holding vigils, and support extended even to the attacker's family. In the face of horror, compassion, and unity emerged, reminding us of the resilience that binds people together. The instinct for empathy stood in stark contrast to the exclusionary hate that fueled the attack. Acts of kindness, both large and small, became a quiet defiance against the darkness that had descended. The breach of the sanctuary was more than physical. It eroded collective trust and safety, leaving a wound that would take time to heal. The sense of violation lingered, echoing in the empty halls and shattered glass. Rebuilding is not just about restoring a building, but reclaiming a sense of peace and belonging. It means coming together to mend what was broken, both in stone and in spirit. The event forces us to confront how personal grievances can fester and become dangerous in echo chambers. It's a stark reminder of the power of unchecked anger and the importance of early intervention. The attacker's animosity was visible, a warning sign often overlooked or dismissed. These signals, if recognized, could be the key to prevention. The facts challenge us to recognize and address radicalization before it erupts into violence. It is a call to be vigilant, to listen, and to act before tragedy strikes. How do we as a society become more vigilant in protecting our communities from hate? The answer lies in awareness, compassion, and the courage to confront difficult truths. Together we can strive to ensure that peace, once shattered, is never lost again.